On the last day of my Red River Gorge camping trip, I went kayaking underground. I booked this tour through Sup Kentucky, who works with the Gorge Underground. Some people get a little confused about this place. While it is underground, it's not a natural cave or cavern. This is an old abandoned limestone mine that flooded. Digging for this mine first started in the late 1800s and lasted until a natural spring was hit in the mid-1980s, at which point it was abandoned. The mine was later bought and tours started in 2015. The mine is located in the heart of Red River Gorge, right down the road from Natural Bridge State Resort Park. This is privately owned property, so you can't just come with your own equipment and explore. The only way to paddle here is to book a tour. They do have a couple of different tour options. I went with the crystal clear kayak unguided option, but they also offer guided tours on clear kayaks or supboards, along with regular kayaks or boards, and a boat option if you don't want to paddle. Since I chose the unguided option, I was a little nervous beforehand about getting lost, but there's really no reason to be concerned. Well, at no point could I have pointed out where I was on a map. I also never really felt like I couldn't find my way back to the dock. Since this was a mine at one point, all of the tunnels are laid out in a grid, which does help a bit with navigation. The tunnels nearest to the dock also have blue and white lights strung up to help guide you back. And finally, to my surprise, even though I booked an unguided tour, I still technically had a guide. He helped me get set up and took me out to the starting point, checked on me 2 or so times during my paddle to see how I was doing and take some pictures, and finally found me at the end of my tour and guided me back to the dock. I really enjoyed the unguided tour, as I do like to explore things on my own. However, I also see the benefits of the guided tour. There were a few times where some more background information would have been helpful, and I know I paddled past the same point multiple times. A few notes on gear: they provide life jackets, helmets, and headlamps for the tour. I happen to have my own life jacket in my car from paddling earlier on this trip, so I asked if I could use that, knowing that some places won't let you for liability reasons. But they did let me use mine, which was great. They just gave me a whistle to attach to it in case of emergency. Well, the mine itself is around 52 degrees year-round, which is pretty standard for underground temperatures. The water typically stays around 40 degrees, so even though the chances of falling in are really low, if you did happen to fall in, you would want assistance as soon as possible. On a related note, they offer neoprene socks to rent. I just wore regular socks thinking I'd be fine, but kinda wish I would have rented them. I didn't take into account the possibility of my socks getting wet, which they did a little bit, which then made them a little bit cold. It was never near like frostbite cold, but for the last probably half hour or so, it was like mildly uncomfortable cold. I also wore shorts and a long sleeve shirt, which is what I typically find comfortable for cavern tours, but in this case I should have worn pants since my legs were against the kayak, which was against the 40-degree water. My 2 favorite things about the mine were the waterfall and the fish. I love waterfalls. They're usually how I pick what trails I want to do, and it's the first thing I headed towards while kayaking today. Anytime I can see a waterfall underground, it's a good day. This waterfall in particular was much easier to hear than to see, however. There was a lot of mist in the mine, which combined with my headlamp made it a bit difficult to see things in detail. It was a bit like driving at night while it's snowing. As for the fish, they stock rainbow trout in the mine, which get to be massive, and they don't really display any fear of humans or kayaks. I spent a fair amount of time watching the fish in the lights. Supposedly, there are also Kentucky brown bats that live in the mine as well, but I wasn't fortunate enough to see any on this trip.
I don't really know what comes next. I'm just doing my best, even though I'm so stressed out. Everything just feels like a test that I fail, so depressed when I can't seem to get out. But something deep inside won't let me quit. I swear that I'm inspired by all this shit. Tell me that I can and I won't. That's what guides me the most. Your lies, I'll do what I want.
Do you know of any other cool underground spots you can paddle? Leave them in the comments below. I'd love to check them out. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to be always adventuring.
I desire your worst, so you can just hide while I work. I ain't tired, you first. I'll write a second, third verse about the